Welcome to Bomberos on Fire, a bilingual podcast where we dive into the world of mental health for first responders and emergency workers. My name is Armando. I'm a firefighter, nurse, and paramedic for over 15 years experience. I'm here to provide you a safe and supportive space for our first responders and emergency workers. So join us on our journey of growth and healing, where together we will learn how to stay strong both physically and mentally. Don't miss a single episode of Bomberos on Fire on Spotify, Apple, Google, or even iHeartRadio. Subscribe now and become part of the community. Thank you for listening. Today's episode of Bomberos on Fire is sponsored by BetterHelp. It is not always easy to talk about mental health when it feels like no one around you really understands your situation, especially in a field that is taboo to talk about it. In my personal case, my family of first responders. We take care of everybody, but we rarely ask for help. Whenever you are feeling anxious, stressed, or just not quite yourself, it can be really hard to know where to turn for help. Well, remember, you are not alone. That is where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp is an online therapy service that connects you with a licensed mental health professional based on your particular needs right from the comfort of your own home. You can start your mental health journey with BetterHelp. You will be matched with a licensed therapist who fits your necessities in a couple of days. BetterHelp makes it easy to find the right therapist for you. The beauty of BetterHelp, it is worldwide, regardless where you are. From San Juan to Berlin, from Orlando to Madrid, BetterHelp is there for you. They have a broad range of mental health therapies available for you that might not be locally. And guess what? BetterHelp isn't just available in English, making it an inclusive platform regardless of where you live or what is your language. Once you match, you can send a message anytime, get timely responses, and you can schedule weekly videos or phone sessions, so you won't ever have to sit in a waiting room again. BetterHelp makes professional mental therapy accessible, affordable, and convenient, so anyone who struggles with life challenge can get help anytime, anywhere. To top it off, BetterHelp costs are based on your locations, preference, and therapist availability. You can cancel your membership at any time for any reason. I believe that everyone deserves the support they need, no matter who they are or where they're from, especially if you are first responders. As a listener of Bomberos on Fire podcast, use our special link betterhelp.com/bomberosonfire for 10% off your first month of therapy with BetterHelp, and join the vast number of people who have taken charge of their mental health with an assistance of an experienced mental health professional therapist. Remember, there's no shame in asking for help, and you are not alone. Let's create a world where mental health is never overlooked, and do not forget to use our link betterhelp.com/bomberosonfire, and you will receive 10% off your first month of therapy with BetterHelp. And now, let's get back to our show. All right. Welcome, people, back to Bomberos on Fire podcast. My name is Armando, as you know. Today, I got a really special guest. It's a primo. It's a cousin for another mother. For the other side of the country. Now we meet back. Before we start, I want to say thank you to the people who listen to us in the United States, in Europe. I got people from Israel now and Morocco, which is amazing. I got people from Spain, South America, everywhere, Mexico, everywhere. So thank you so much for listening to me, and keep with this podcast, and hopefully you guys can get something out of it. And today, like I said, we have a special guest. It's a friend of mine, family, primo, I guess. He's too much on the sun. That's why he looks different. He's a great friend. Man, introduce yourself, who you are, what do you do, and we go from there.
Oh man, Lateef Williams, firefighter EMT for Orlando Fire Department. Been a firefighter since 2003. First got certified in California. That's where I'm originally from Inglewood, California. Got certified in 2003 and kind of bounced around. It's very competitive in California. Like you literally have to camp out to apply because they'll run out of applications. They'll only take so many applicants. So applied up and down the West Coast, all the way from Tacoma, Washington, all the way down to the border at San Diego. And it's just out there that says, when the time is right, And I pretty much given up. I first started applying, the year that I graduated in 2003, and it didn't happen. And then not until 2012, I met my now ex-wife, and then we got together. She's an engineer, got married. She's an aerospace engineer and originally from out here in Florida. And company that she worked for kind of gave us an offer we couldn't refuse as far as relocating. Like I said, I pretty much got hired on with Northrop Grumman Fire Department, private fire department. Before that, I was with Compton Fire as a EMT/reserve firefighter. And I left. I got laid off from Northrop Grumman. Had a top secret clearance. A lot of other firefighters who knew we were getting laid off, they started applying everywhere, and they were like, "Hey, LA County Sheriff's Department is hiring." And just by happenstance, I met the sheriff of LA County Sheriff's Department on a media event with Larry King, and I was surprised he even remembered me. And he was like, "You ever want a real job? Give me a call." So I applied. Called him. He was like, "Hey, what took you so long?" I was like, I didn't even think you'd remember who I was. And like the next day, got me in, took the test. It was a smooth transition all the way in, and was with them for about 3 years. Was about to go out to patrol, and then that was when my ex-wife got the opportunity to come out here to Florida, recertified my EMT, started applying to departments out here in Florida, both police and fire, since I had that experience under my belt for both. And moved out here in May of 2015. And by July, I got hired with Brevard County Sheriffs. And in August, I got hired with Orange County Fire. And of course, you remember that's where we met. I decided to go to Orange County Fire. My son was born that year in November. Started standards in February 2016. Was there for a minute. And then in 2018, I left Orange County for Rockledge to be closer to my son because I was then divorced. And turns out I didn't need to do that. So I reapplied to go back to Orange County, and at the same time, I applied for Orlando. And then Orlando called me first. So
and now you're Orlando. OFD now.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. You had literally a lifetime of fire departments and jobs. I know that since I know you since 2015.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. You're like a Wikipedia of knowledge in that aspect, which is
yeah. I know.
It helped.
Just getting on, not just staying on.
Yeah. People who listen to us, you want to apply for the department, call this guy here. He can help you out. You can charge for it. See that? Boom. A hustle business.
Exactly.
But yes. But now going through all those fire departments, what is the big difference between the West Coast and East Coast? Because I think you're the only one that I know that had done that transition.
Right. Well, West Coast is very, very much more competitive, much more militant. In the mindset of out here, compared to the military out here, is like the Air Force. West Coast is like the Marines. It's like I said, I literally remember camping out like staying up overnight in the street to be able to stand in line to apply for LA City and LA County.
Golly.
Same thing for, and when one place opens up, everybody goes there. I mean, I've gone from as far as like San Diego up to the Washington. If it's in drivable distance in LA, uh, Henderson, Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada. You know, when one place opens up that they're hiring, like the same group, everybody floods down there. Last time I applied for LA County Fire Department, there was over 300,000 applicants. And of the 300,000, I think like 120 passed the written. And even then, if you pass the written, if you don't score in the 96th percentile, they're not even going to get to you. You know, and that's both in the written and oral. Now, if you get past the written, get to the oral interview, there are a few like little, you know, like video game Easter eggs that you have to know. You have to go to so many fire stations and get mock oral interviews done by the captains there. And they give you the kind of the little formula. If you don't go to different stations to talk to different captains, you're not going to get the formula of their ethics, their what do you call them? Their
blessing, I guess. The introduction.
No, like Orange County was dry, duty, respect, and integrity. The
core values, principles.
Core values, yeah. So the core values of LA County, I remember it was called 4C IT. So 4 C's in IT: integrity, teamwork, commitment, caring, community, and commitment, caring, community. I can't remember the last C. So
welcome to the East Coast.
Right. So what you had to do is work those core values into sentences throughout your interview. And they had a little check sheet to see if you said integrity, if you said teamwork, if you said care. You couldn't have canned answers. There was no, oh, why do you want to be a firefighter? Oh, I want to help people. Like, nah, they weren't accepting that. And if you didn't know how to work the core values into your phrases when you were asked questions, they would, you pretty much, you know, you wouldn't score that 96. Yeah. So, yeah, it's very, 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 like, man, my buddies were shocked when I said I got out here in May and was hired by August by Orange County Fire.
Yeah, Orange County, literally, they hire bodies. They just want to fill the seats, and let's go.
Yeah, that's unheard of on the West Coast.
No, so that's insane. And on the West Coast, you have to pay for your own fire academy, or once you get hired, they will pay for everything.
So kind of like it's both. So you can here, you know, you can go through just like here, you can go through college yourself, and then apply. But the bigger departments, they put you through on their dime. Okay. So even but for like LA City, LA County, Long Beach, and Orange County out there, their firefighter orientation is state fire college standards. So even if I say if you move from Florida to LA and you applied for LA County Fire and you've been a Florida firefighter for say 5 years, when you get hired by them, their orientation is 6 to 8 months long. So it's the equivalent of going to fire school again. Oh, and that's what they say. But the smaller departments like Santa Monica, Redondo Beach, Culver City, places like that, you can already have experience and they just have an orientation, kind of like how they do out here.
Okay. So it's all dependent, basically.
It's all dependent, but like I said, it's far, far, far more competitive. They invest a lot more in you because they want you to have an absolute clean slate. And this is how we do it our way, and then that's it.
Wow. And that's a lot of work, bro. I don't know. I'll stay in East Coast, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying that. So different between tools or equipment. I know their EMS in the West Coast is different than here, where they're separate. Fire and EMS are separate most of the time.
Right. No. And West Coast it's not separate. It's not separate.
It's one guy.
LA City, they do their own transport.
Okay.
LA County was the only one that didn't. They actually had American Medical Response out there. Last I was there, and
Okay.
their EMS calls, they would have a squad that was basically like a F-250 truck that had tools in the back, but it'd be two paramedics, and that would get dispatched to a call along with I believe either a BLS or ALS AMR unit, and
Okay.
that's what would run the medical calls. Last I was there, and then for LA
Yeah.
City, which is different from LA County, they did their own transport. So I don't know if it was double medic or if it was medic EMT.
Got it. Yeah, and in the East Coast, at least where we work in the Central Florida area, it's mixed. It's a fire EMS. It's all one place.
Exactly.
Basically, take turns on the rescue, and then you go jump to the freaking truck, or you jump on the engine, or whatever you guys have, or whatever we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a question. Another one. What motivate you to go through that process a couple times, the hiring process? What was your motivation to fucking go at it?
Well, so I say my biggest motivation was Tommy Orso. Tommy Orso was my Little League coach, whom I had a very, very poor baseball Little League league that we played for. Like, we didn't have lights. Like, parents would literally line up their cars to shine on the field for us to play at night. We had gopher holes. We were in an old oil field, man. And
Wow.
when the plumbing would kind of go out on the field, like, there was a LA County Fire Station 58 was like 2 blocks away. And he was a coach, umpire, and he would bring the engine up to the diamond to watch down the diamond.
The lights.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And would let us crawl around and play with it and play with stuff and everything. And I just thought, being an engineer was the coolest job, because he also cooked at the station. I would ride my bike back and forth from the baseball diamond to my house, and like my chain popped, or if I had a flat tire on my bike, I could stop at the station, and so I just thought it was just the coolest thing, man. So
wow.
my career and aspirations always been a truck engineer, drive the truck.
Yeah. How you doing now right now in the OFD? You on the way, on the path to go there?
I'm still trying to get on the truck. It's a little bit harder because I'm a little bit older. It's definitely a young man's game, and my mind is willing, but my body is like, hey, we're 45. We are 45.
You're 45?
45,
oh,
man.
You don't look like, you don't look 45, but yeah. I hear you. It's
the back feel like it.
No, I hear you, bro. Being a truck is no easy job, especially the older you get, the more want to be engineer on a tanker.
Yeah,
you want that blue chair. I get it, bro. I completely get it. And then you went from West Coast, California, literally the whole state, and you came to the East Coast. You apply Brevard, you told me, and then Orange County graduate, and literally grabbed you. And that's where we met. That's where we crossed paths. And since then, we've seen friends since 2015.
Yeah. Team, man. Ever since we were doing the mentorship.
Yes. Yeah, the CPAP shit. Oh my God. Yes. See the CPAP.
Twice a week. Yeah, show up twice a week and do the CPAP over and over and get in shape for that. Man.
Yeah, and look at us now. We different fire departments, getting paid better, getting treated better. Yeah, we did standards together.
Yeah,
we did. We did. Oh, because I was a medic already when I got hired for the Orange County. Yeah, so
together. And then, I remember when you got married.
Yeah.
I remember, I remember when your wife.
I remember when you got your baby. I remember your baby. Oh, now he's like a freaking bro. The boy is a monster. He's massive, muscular, bro. I don't know. That's awesome. I'm.
Funny story with my son and getting hired with Orange County. My son was born October 28th, and my oral interview was like October 30th, I want to say, with Orange County.
Yeah, with the big chief.
Yeah, Autumn Rhodes, man. And I remember talking to him, and like, he's doing the interview thing. I look around, he was I asked him about his kids, and he asked me about mine. So yeah, I got a son and a daughter. They're way far in age. He was like, "Well, how old's your daughter?" And I was like, at the time, I was like, "Oh, my daughter's like 14 or 13 or 14, something like that." And he was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "How old's your son?" And I was like,
3 days.
30 hours old. And he was like, 30 hours? I'm like, "So you came here?" I was like, "Yeah, I brought my suit to the hospital and got dressed there and came here." And
And
he was
you
like,
go blessed. There you
"Yeah,
go, buddy.
yeah." He was like, get back to the hospital, man, to your son." And then, like, as I'm walking up the door, and I was like, "Do I have the job?" And he was like, "Yes, yes, go."
Man, that guy's the coolest chief. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah,
he goes, people follow him.
exactly. He's
Yes.
definitely a fireman's chief. Definitely.
He is. We're throwing money to him at where I work now, at the creek, to see if he wants to come back to the operations side, become a chief. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we get that
Mm-hmm.
Christmas present. But who knows? You know how it is. You know politics. It's all
Yeah,
politics.
yeah. I fell into that coming into Orlando. We're what, 3 chiefs within the past like 5 years.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. 3 chief. Oh yes. I remember. Yeah. I remember that.
So, like, man, I don't know. The yearbook, they should have just a Velcro on.
I look over face. Just look at the faces. They all look the same from the bottom down.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
So now, I believe the mindset is different as an older firefighter. Like you do it now. You try and find multiple streams, because you almost immediately start looking at that outgoing process of what you're going to do afterwards, or contingency. Your body doesn't hold up, and you got to medically retire, and is a thing that you have to consider, because your career can end on the next call, whether it be getting off the rig and tripping and blowing out your knee, or trying to pick up a patient and blowing out a disc in your back, or something actually technical. We have to deal with a fire, deal with some type of mechanical technical rescue of some sort.
Yeah.
You can count how many close calls. There's 2 different kinds. It's kind of close calls that you count, and it's close calls that other people see. Like, oh, that was, and it's like, no, that wasn't a close call. I've been with far worse than that.
Oh yeah.
And like when I was, one of the very few divers, rescue divers for Orange County.
Yeah.
And when we were there, that's when Lieutenant was bringing the program into its fruition. Brandon Allen, that's the lieutenant.
You were one of the first. I remember that. One of the first wave of guys doing the diver.
Yeah, and I was the first diver to have a underwater gator encounter. And yeah, that was with a joint call with Osceola County. And it was 2 gators in the water when I got out of it. One was with me at the car. And of course, nobody would have believed it if they didn't see it, because everybody's like, "Oh, gators run away," and blah, blah. I was like, this one did.
No.
This one was down there with me, because when I got out the water and looked back, he was floating right above the truck where I was at, and another one was coming in, and it was about a good 5-foot gator. So yeah, you immediately start thinking about your life.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I need a plan B.
Exactly.
You never know.
Exactly.
God, I didn't know that part, because you were at 58, right? At that point, on 55.
Yep. I was at 58 when I left. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. 58. You never sleep.
It just became a dive station. Not only was I the only diver on my shift, I was the only rescue swimmer on my shift. None of my guys on my engine were even swimmers.
Yeah.
So it was total cowboy. I was me by myself in that water until the next dive unit got there. There was no necessarily 2 out rule, because
enough. You don't have enough people.
It's not enough. But then if you're a diver, obviously you have to get into the water because someone is in imminent danger. Just like if you show up on a structure fire, you can be the only engine there, but you can articulate why you went in. If you see somebody hanging out the window, you don't have to wait for your 2 out, because it's kind of a life over limb rescue situation. So definite interesting experience, man.
Oh God, yeah. I remember being at 53 for like 5 years. Taking it like a champ. Turnpike and OBT nonstop.
Yeah,
because I went to Pine Hills, but I went to I was a 58 first,
Mm-hmm.
which is Hunters Creek area. It's all my people. Whoever's
Mm-hmm.
listening to me, all the Spanish people is over there. And then I went to Pine Hills. I learned Creole in that moment.
Yeah.
And then I went to 53, which is just heroin town and
Yep.
pimps and hookers. That was
Yep.
me for 5 years.
You got
5, 7, 6
OBT,
years.
you got the freeways right there.
Oh,
And then
bro, I
you
got
got bonus
Turnpike, I
people
got
out back in the
528,
hood. Yep.
I got them all. And now I'm in Distant Springs, chilling and walking around.
Yep.
I'm in the squad now. I finally made it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
man.
rope guy. Actually, we beat Orlando OFD on the rope competition.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the creek.
Okay.
We got one on you guys.
Good job. Good job. You know.
Yeah, I was that day. I was when we get the trophy for the second place. I was doing this with everybody. Hey, people, Orange County too. And it's funny because we we have basically pants, a sweater, and that's it. Everybody else tactical gear, Velcro, the Punisher, and I'm walking with a sweater. Just hey, what up, buddy? So yeah, that was an experience.
That's what won. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, good moments, bro. I truly believe that being a fireman is a lifestyle. It's not career. It's a lifestyle. It's something you choose, and even if you leave the fire department to do something else, you always will be a fireman. It's like a cop or military. It doesn't matter what.
Always have the mentality. It never shuts off.
Never shuts off, no matter what you do. And now I know you're 45, and the city is like 20 years, and then you can leave, kind of retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Any plan B that you have? Any future plans that you thinking? Because, like you said, you can get injured. You can get whatever could happen. Anything could happen from now until you retire. Well, actually, I don't know if you heard that we had a guy in our department that got a heart attack. Massive. Oh yeah, and inside the ER.
Wow.
He dropped right there. They saved him. Is still in recovery. Hopefully back to work by December.
Mm-hmm.
But I told him when I talked to him, bro, you need a plan B.
Yeah.
Because if I were you, I won't come back. Just to be safe. Just in the safe side. I won't do this anymore. I'm done.
Right.
Drop the microphone and walk away.
Yep.
You have any plans, anything, or working on it?
I'm working on it. I have my business is called First Hero Merchant Services.
Okay.
Where that I find small businesses and I buy an ATM and I place it in that business. And you know how when you can privately run ATMs. So if you use an ATM and it's not your bank's ATM and it says, well, this will charge you $3, blah blah blah. Well, if it's my ATM, I get that $3. So
nice.
It is. It's about location though, because if you get a great location, passively. You can average okay location. You can average about $200 a month. But the thing is, you do your profit is in volume. So if one ATM is making me $200 a month, if I have 10 ATMs,
you got $2,000,
$2,000 a month, and all I have to do is I have to physically take my money and place it in the ATM so people can take it out. So that's a rinse and repeat of that money. The other side to that is like, before you can do anything, you have to have the money for the ATM. And that's about, roughly $2,000. And then you have to physically have at least about $1,000 cash to put in that ATM so people can take out of it so you can make the money for your transactions. So it's around anywhere from $3,000 to $3,500 just to invest in one ATM.
Okay.
So therein lies fire department work overtime to get that money,
I hear you. And also, I imagine too, that shit is heavy. You have to pick it up from the floor, put it in the pickup truck, move that crap somewhere, put it.
Yep, you have two options. Either you do it yourself or you hire somebody. I'm going to do it myself, and my son is a part of my company too. So, and I teach him. We install ourselves. We have a Hilti drill, a concrete drill. Drill it, bolt it down in, and set it yourself. And I service all my ATMs. And now I've moved over to merchant services to where the little card swipe machines I give those to the merchants too, in order for, and it's a small residual from that. And again, it's in volume. If I can get,
Yeah.
10 businesses that say move 25,000 a month in merchandise, they process 25 grand a month, and say at 3%, that can be a pretty good amount. It can be, anywhere from 4 to up to 8 grand a year that one machine,
Can
can.
produce.
But the thing is, it's getting the merchant to trust me to use my machine to help their business. So
and the location too.
Yeah, there's some sales involved in it, as well. And that's the part I just kind of hate doing, because I try and save them money, and then it's still convincing them that, because the way the world works, people don't trust people. It's like, what are you getting? And and then the paradox to that is, these are private businesses that I'm going to asking for a chance. And a lot of them are hesitant right off the back. And then I kind of go, well, somebody gave you a chance to even open this business. You have to ask for that loan. You have to ask for this, location. And, we often forget that, somebody started somewhere. A lot of the, couple of the smoke shops that I go to, like, I see they'll tell me no, and then 4 or 5 months later I go in and they have an ATM. So, I can't take it personal, but I'm like, hey, what happened? And then I look over, the ATM itself is out of service. And it's like, well, what happened? Why are they not in service? Oh, my guy's up north, and, it takes them a while to get here. And I was like, I'm local. I do all my business myself. You would be out of service if you came to me, but I understand, So it's that. And of course, there's a couple of other passive opportunities I would like to have, but it's just getting funding and this investment capital that you have to have in order to start it. Like a lot of these businesses that, a lot of online programs, like, oh, come buy my program and I can show you how to make $10,000 a week.
No.
But the problem with that is, like, say I saw one that was dealing with stock options and crypto and things like that. Like, well, yeah, you can make 10,000 a week if you had initial 50 grand to invest and get the percentage of that.
Exactly. It's just math. Basically, it's math.
You can make thousands a month off of investment property, but you got to have the $1 million in order to buy that 4-unit building, as well as the other 100 grand invest in upgrading it and fixing it up so you can get tenants. You
have to waste more gas, make money on whatever, maintenance, the tools. If you need a new tool to put it in, I mean, it's expensive. Oh, I hear you. I got the podcast, obviously. I'm not doing this for money. The podcast, I do it because I wanted to. To me, it's like a release therapy for stuff that I've been through all my life. I've been working on the medical field on the fire service since I'm 17 or 16 in 2 different countries. So I got some advices. My mom, she's a coach, life coach, and she said, hey, you need a way to release that before you start beating the wife and start drinking alcohol like everybody else. So somebody gave me an idea. Why don't you start a podcast? And you like to talk crap, so why not? Yeah. And that's how I started. I've been talking to psychologists, to nurses.
You like to talk when we can understand you.
I need subtitles. I came with subtitles.
Yeah, that's how I remember that. We got the story. That's how we bonded, because you would be moving so fast and get confused, and then I tell you in Spanish, you'd be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I was almost 7 years ago. Yeah, and, my English improved a little bit better, but still a little bit, not much. Still have the sexy accent. I know you like that one.
Exactly. But the guy from LA who speaks the more Mexican Spanish would be like,
"Oh my God."
Derecha.
The Mexican little guy is now in Atlanta. He's a firefighter in Atlanta.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
Little Will.
Yeah,
bro.
Fabian. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fabian. Yeah, he became a cop, and now he's a fireman.
Yep, I know that. Bro.
Yeah, and we worked together at 53 for a couple of years when I was there.
Yeah,
it was fun. I have to admit.
his Theo, he retired like what year before last? I said
Um,
he had an
he,
uncle that was he had two
uh,
uncles. One
two,
was captain, the other one was a battalion chief at the time. I think the captain was the one that retired.
no, well, captain or lieutenant on the truck. I don't remember.
One of the two. He had both were,
Yeah,
were one and the other.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think the captain was the one that retired.
Yes,
Yep.
and yeah, that was. And then who's the other one? He became a cop.
Oh, Noel.
Uh,
Noel.
Noel. Now
Yep. He's doing good, man. He's a
in
SWAT.
SWAT.
He's a SWAT medic. And
Yeah.
turns out, I still do. Oh, another one of my outlets, like you said, is I still do and compete in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now I'm a brown belt
Yes.
in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I've been encouraged to teach more. I just need to work on how I teach, and that could be a segue too.
Delivery.
Yeah,
You remember that's your problem.
exactly,
It's not your content. It's not what you know. It's your delivery. That's
exactly,
your problem.
exactly. Oh, shit, I'm having that problem now.
Oh yeah, I know.
So one of my black belts is actually a Orange County deputy who knows Noel very well. And
Nice.
we got to talking, and he was like, "Hey, I think through Facebook he saw me comment. And he was like, Noel?" I was like, "Man, we OGs, man. Me and Noel got hired, went through standards together. We went through orientation together. We went through medical together, and we was at 58 together."
Yeah.
I was like, I remember when he got married. I remember when his wife got pregnant.
Yeah.
I remember all that, man.
I remember when he left the county. I remember when he became a cop. All that.
Yep. There for everything, man. Yep.
Bro, yeah. Life pass.
That was something that people ask me that I want to do because it's not much reciprocity is recognized, but they recognize your experience. So Orlando doesn't do dual anymore, but I think Orange County still may, as far as you can be a cop. Because there was a couple of guys who were on the squad who were also still reserve cops, reserve deputy sheriffs. So
yeah, this is a chief. Well, you remember Juan Natan, the chief?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a trooper and a chief.
Oh wow. Huh.
Yeah, he retired, and I thought he would, nightlife, go to the cruises, enjoy life, get fat and happy. No, he's the chief of Marion County, fire chief.
Can't let go, man. Can't let go. Got to do something.
That's another chief. That's a chief of the chief too, but he can't let it go. You need to get some break, bro. You need to relax.
Yeah, that's
in the army too.
Man, I would like to find something very passive that I can still collect money and grow a beard and be happy, man. And right now the goal is I want to make passive money so I don't have to work my Kelly days. So I don't have to work overtime. I want to spend as much time with my son and my family as possible.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about you that I like is your family man, and always embracing your culture and embracing other cultures too.
Yeah,
and I know that, and that's one thing that few people that I know in the fire service embrace. Is so diverse in that aspect, and you know that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of your qualities, except for delivery. But other than that. You got that right, bro. It's truly amazing when you see you on Facebook with your son and he's doing jiu-jitsu and like, what the hell happened to the little kid that I literally hold it on my arm?
Really? Yeah, the little meat nugget. Remember that, man?
Yeah.
He's
and now he can choke me.
95 pounds.
Now he can choke me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Literally, I got that power with him because I can't deal with that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's true, bro. It's true. And I'm glad that you found a way to help also with the stress, like doing that side job with the hustle job. And I think every fireman does that.
Yeah. And it's funny. That's my kind of trying to build up. So it is a little bit stressful. The only thing that's not stressful about is like, I'm not relying on it to eat. So
to provide. Exactly.
It can progress how it progresses. And I mean, believe it or not, I'll do Instacart and Spark, and it's those shopping for other people, and that's like a happy kind of thing to do, man. Like for real.
Shit, Really?
I know guys that do they're firefighters that do Uber, and
Yeah, I know that.
they said it's cool in itself. But yeah, man, I'm going to grocery stores and picking up groceries and delivering it to people who are so thankful and happy. Like, it's like the older people when it's raining and
Yeah.
stuff like that. The older people just can't get out, and they give you tips, and you can make it if you have busy days, and it's just it is literally just going to the store. That's it, just going to the store.
Yeah. It's
People are shocked.
it's like,
They see me big coming in there, bringing their groceries. Like, do you do anything else? Like, yeah, I'm a firefighter. I just do this because it's extra money and it's happy,
Yeah, no, I feel you. I got I got the company that I created to training and consulting outside the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to Poland in 2 weeks to
Wow.
teach survival and RIT.
Oh wow, okay.
And I'm talks with Mexico and hopefully Spain, but we'll see.
Oh, we're gonna talk, man. I gotta see what classes I gotta go get certified and roll with you, man. Shoot.
Get your fire instructor.
Okay.
You're good to go, bro. Fire instructor and a passport.
I got the passport.
You got one. You got the most difficult one, which is the freaking passport.
We'll talk definitely, man.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So those people listen to me. Yeah, that's the thing that's going on in 2 weeks. I'll put the posting on YouTube. I got a YouTube channel where I post I do a lot of training in Spanish because it's not enough. It's like, here you got 10,000 companies that teach RIT or teach whatever. And in Spanish, there's few in between, especially a YouTube channel. So I found that, and a lot of people from Spain actually follow me on the channel too. And I put history of Halligan. I do, you name it, I try to get something out of it. And little by little, I'm not depending on it to put food on my table. So that's why I'm go with the flow and see what happens with that.
Mm-hmm.
And got another business too with my wife. I do IV hydration therapy, mobile. I'll go to your home VIP.
I actually looked into that. I actually did look into it. Yeah.
I know.
forgot the name of the Hydrate was the name of the company.
Hydrate. So for those who listen to right now, our website is bmandoivexpress.com. We'll start probably in October. We got everything, trying to get everything set up because it's a bunch of legal stuff, medical wise.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get that out of the way, we're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we're the sponsor of Venezuelan beauty pageant.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I won't complain.
That's
I won't complain at all.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, bro. I'm looking ways to, like you said, get a passive income, get an option B, option C, option D. You never know what could happen in life. And if I learned that the new currency is not money, it's time.
Exactly.
It's time with my kids. It's time with my family. It's time with my friends. That's the new currency. It's not money.
Exactly.
Oh, we just open an OnlyFans. And that's it, bro.
That's not that easy. That's not that easy. Actually, a friend of mine, she wanted to do that, and she started doing it, and then looked up the research of it, and he's like, the average OnlyFans makes less than what you would make working at McDonald's every week.
What?
The average, yes.
The average.
There's a small percentile of what you hear about making $10,000 and $50,000 a month and all that stuff. It's a very small percentile of them.
Because they want to go the extra mile.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's the one squeezing the banana with your feet, doing this.
Exactly. Peanut butter on the toes.
Yeah, sometimes you have to go to 110% to make that happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, it's crazy how little things like that can help you with your mental health, can help you to get focused on something, don't get distracted. Because a lot of the guys that they don't do anything else, just the fire service, they get distracted, they start getting into crazy stuff, and then we lose them with depression, suicide. They quit the fire department, or they get lazy. So.
Yeah, and I'm one too. I definitely firmly believe in disconnecting. When I'm off duty, I am off duty. Like, I've come back to work and then, did you hear about that fire on blah 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 on on A shift or on B shift? I'm like, did anybody get hurt? No, I didn't hear about it because I'm not looking at my pulse point. I'm not listening to no radio. I'm not. I'm so far behind in the gossip and things like that. It's just, if it's not my business, I don't like being in it. I want to do my job, protect my crew, and come home the way I left.
Exactly.
So
I'm the same way. I clock in, clock out. I love the fire service. It gave me a lot of opportunities in my life. It gave me meet a lot of people in my life. You're one of those. And but yeah, once I clock out, if like you said, if something happened a different shift, it doesn't hurt anybody else. Or nothing happened. I don't even care.
Exactly. You make lifelong, friends, and bonds, and like you and I, man. Like I remember, I gave you the blanket for your first daughter.
Yes. Yeah, and we have it here, bro. It's
Yeah,
here.
and I think only a few people found out. I was like, wow, like why'd you do that? I was like, what do you mean, why? Man, it's his firstborn child. He's excited. Like, remember stuff like that,
Yeah.
Now, if I need
I will
bail,
never forget. My whole family still remember that. My whole family still remember that shit. Like, you remember the guy, el negrito, yeah. Yes. Oh, my mom love you.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom, my wife, yeah.
Yep, and I see your wife. I see your wife at RMC. Yep.
Oh, she's now in a by the Loop, the new ER.
Okay.
Yeah, she said enough RMC. I'm done. This is enough for 30-year career.
You can only operate at those high RPMs for so long,
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
it just wears on you, and it's good to get that experience. But after that, back off.
Yeah, the same apply for us in the fire service. I cannot be in the VC house for 20 years.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. That's why I went to the creek.
Yeah. I didn't blame you at all, man. And anybody else who hated I've been like, you would have taken it in a heartbeat. You would have no 100%. Way you would have turned it up. Period.
100%.
Yeah, man.
100%. So take care of each other, take care of ourselves. I think that's the most important thing that I find out doing this podcast. This is like episode 22, I think so. And the common theme is take care of each other and yourself. That's the most important. After that, you can do whatever you want. I talked to a nurse that she does for herself ketamine microdosages for anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
And that helped her. I talked to a psychologist from New York. She was the head or the board member of the COVID-19 task force for the firemen or the first responder that went to that, to the mental health. And somebody from Panhandles, Kathleen. She's a mental coach, and she's also a first responder specialist in first responders mental health.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Take care of each other.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. That's the only thing we can do.
Something that I would love to formulate, and that it's funny. It's a very much ongoing issue that we have in being a first responder. What I went through personally in my divorce.
Yes.
Now, divorce is very high, and there is no counsel for it. There's no help for it. It was kind of it's a cultural thing, like, oh, you're a real firefighter now. You're going through your first divorce, ha ha ha. And it's like, yeah, and we're alpha. We try and act tough and everything, but literally, a divorce is a marriage ending. That's a life ending.
Yeah,
that's a life ending.
It is.
I mean, the person you married isn't the person you're divorcing. And, often it makes me sad, how I felt about this woman. I was willing to die for this woman at one point in time. And now it's like, oh, my God, like it's the total other side of the spectrum, and going through that divorce, like, and I was with county, and I remember, people would call, and it'd be the same people who were among the kind of the mental health task force of it, things, and, just kind of, I just want to make sure you're okay. You're not thinking about hurting yourself. And I'm like, it ain't that. It's just with that on my mind all day, and I have to come to work and deal with patient assessments and deal with people and things like that, and totally not have it affect me while at work. While my life at home is just falling apart, and I still have to come to
Yeah.
work and compartmentalize everything so that I can function at work.
Yeah.
And there was nobody to really kind of turn to and say, hey, well, what did you do for this? Or did you talk to this lawyer? Or da da da. It's like, to kind of start some type of circle, whether it be lawyers, family counselors, things
Yeah.
like something to where that when divorce starts looming its head, there are steps, there are things that we can do, not just, oh, hey,
Yeah.
it's a part of it. You got to go through it, and it's like,
Yeah.
I luckily focused on my son the most.
Yeah.
And just focusing on him very much helped me not fall apart, very much helped me not act emotionally, and I would have gone to jail for the things that I was thinking I wanted to do in my head.
Yeah.
Just to, just getting attacked, and like I said, luckily I found it in him.
Save your life.
Right, exactly. And that definitely helped and explains kind of our bond that we have now. People say, you have such a great bond. And I'm like, we do, but what I had to go through to get that bond, I would never want anybody else to go through,
Yeah.
And that's something that, but the thing is, it's also hard because I've said it myself that as firemen, we talk about, now we're finally getting recognized for our mental stresses and things, and you can medically retire because of PTSD, which the paradox with that is amongst firefighters, we go, oh, great, they're finally recognized, we all go through it. But times where I've sat around the table when firefighters talking about another firefighter that's doing it, and they rip them to shreds. Like, oh, man, you knew what it was this, you should have gone there, you're just being a puss and blah, 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 And then I'm one of the few people that spoke up and said, no, wait a minute. If that man would have came, you would have heard after the next shift that he put a 45 in his mouth and ended it, you'd be wondering what you could have said or what you could have done to help him. But if he'd have sat back and listened to this conversation of you guys talking about other people not being strong enough to not get away when he felt mentally he couldn't take it anymore, it's no wonder that nobody says anything. Like one day that they're fine, and then the next minute, like, he did what? It's like, just listening. And oh, man, you can hear a spider pissing on cotton. When I ended that, and I'm like, I don't mean to be argumentative of the downside, but listen to what you're saying, but listen to what happens. And you wonder why they didn't say anything. Because, in fire service, your reputation carries. Your reputation is everything. Oh, yeah. And the paradox of that is they'll tell you, oh, work hard to make sure you get a good reputation, people like you and things like that. But then they'll turn around and say, well, don't worry about what people say because everybody's going to talk mess. It's like, well.
Yeah, so which one I pick?
Which one is it, It's like, and like me, I'm one of the people through my physical prowess and my stature, I already intimidate people. So people are going to have an assumptions of me before they meet me, before I even speak. Like I know for a fact, people, if they didn't know you and they were talking about me and you were standing there, the person that that is me versus the person that they think they know is me, you'd be like, who are you talking about? Who? Like, what are you, And half the time it's, well, have you ever worked with him? Oh no, it's just stuff that I heard, And I'm like, so your lazy mentality is going off of what somebody else told you. And then you just totally judge that person off of that. No experience for yourself. No having your own mind, your own thought, You
need to experience that. It's a double-edged sword because one hand you can be the tough guy, but in another hand you cannot be the tough guy.
Right.
So like, okay, which one would I pick? Which route I take for my own self to save myself?
Right. Exactly.
Because at the end, we should help each other, but that doesn't happen that often. No, it doesn't. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen. So
No, and
So
we've
I
seen like, yeah,
feel
you're
you.
supposed to help each other, but we've seen guys just hang other cats out to dry, like
Oh
totally
yeah,
leave them out there.
100%,
You know,
100%. In a
you know.
heartbeat, they don't. They
So
don't even blink. They just go
yeah,
projectile vomiting. Whatever they
yeah,
say, they got it.
yeah.
I
You know,
know, and it's up to us, people like you and me, people like in the same mentality, to, I don't say change the culture, but at least be aware this is going on, this is
right,
happening.
right,
Because we
right,
won't change the culture. You know, it's 100 years of tradition. It's gonna
yeah,
don't it won't change. But put a light, be aware. Hey, this is what's going on. Actually, I didn't tell you, but I applied for the peer support team at Reedy Creek.
okay,
Yeah, so
that's good.
I can get more tools for
Yeah,
the podcast and to help my family. Put it that
right,
way,
right. Yeah,
and also help myself too. Why not?
yeah. I had a pretty bad call last year where I had a couple of visits where
Yeah,
it was a rough one. I know you heard about it. The kid that got struck by lightning.
yeah, I
Yeah,
heard it. We do all
I
talk about it.
transported him. I held him in my
Oh,
arms, man.
oh
Um,
God.
and I went home. I went home that day. I had to see my son. I had to. And you know, I can smell the electricity and smell the
Yeah, the
burnt,
burn.
you know, saw his pupils dilated and you know, like I
Yeah.
said, I held him in my arms. And I remember that drive to the hospital, like I made it to South and and I know like I was ready to jump the train tracks. I was, you know, Gran
Yeah, bro.
Turismo in that box, man.
Yeah.
But the most like hardest thing to grasp. And when I tell people this, like this is just what makes you like really question, you know, you try and do things like religion and faith and belief to quell the evils of man and the evils of nature that we see.
Yeah.
But the father of the second boy who the dive team had to find, like the one that I transported, the lightning entered him. The lightning went out of the other boy that fell in the water. And his father is an electrical engineer that
Oh.
listen, that specializes in lightning protection systems.
Oh man, you done.
So can you imagine like the supervillain that he will become? Like if that, you know, the like how do you process that? Like of all
How
the
do
things
you?
that happen with all the people,
Oh God.
your whole life is based around lightning and studying it and trying to protect,
And they hit
you
your
know,
kids.
and lightning took the life of your child. You know, that
And
made
life
me
is
feel
funny.
selfish because I needed to go home.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. 100%.
You know, I was thinking, how dare me? Like, oh, I just, you know, at least I had a son to go and see. But like, he'd have to change his whole career to not think about his
Yeah.
child on a daily basis, or at least get really involved in his job and basically saying he's going to fight lightning for the rest of his life and, you know, make sure, you know, but
It's a tough call, man.
that,
That's
you
a
know,
tough call.
and that's something like I'll never forget,
Yeah.
never, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
I got drownings
yeah,
too. I got people that throw me the kid. I get out
yeah,
of the rescue. Hey, that's my kid. Okay.
yeah,
Great.
fix it
I
here,
got
fix it. Yeah,
yeah. I had the phony calls, but I have those calls that I got abortions on toilets, the
yeah,
spontaneous abortions that happen. You go
yeah,
on scene and she didn't know she was pregnant, and then you look in the toilet. Oh, okay,
yeah,
all right, let's go.
yeah,
Let's go
yeah,
to OBGYN.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
we'll be a long call.
I had one of those where I had to carry it in the bio bag.
Oh yeah.
And I know it was only in my head, but I kept feeling the bag move. Like I
Oh,
know it was in, but you know, something
oh
kept,
God.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so yeah, and those are, you know, those are the little bonus things that when you know, you get your watch and you get your little pin that you know, congratulations, you made
Yeah.
it to retirement. But Those are the things that you carry with you through the rest of your, after your
life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm advocate, and I'm trying to at least people being aware of the problems. I'm going to talk to people that the experts on the subject, try to talk to us so people can relate and hey, this is happening. And that's why I do it in English and in Spanish.
Yeah.
Because why not? Because imagine here, we got the tools and the resources to get help. Outside the U.S., good luck, bro.
They barely have
Good
the
luck.
tools to do the job.
Yeah, so good luck.
Yeah.
I had a friend, he's a fireman in Caracas, Venezuela, and they work 7 days straight, 24 hours, and then 2 weeks off.
Wow.
Yeah. So I told him, how do you deal with the stress? Drink a beer. All right, buddy. Yeah. That's it. And you cannot in South America, you cannot say I want to cry and I can't handle this crap. No, that's a no. That's a taboo there.
There's not even a word for that in Spanish.
It's not. When you say it, start mumbling. I don't know what's going on. Like you got a glitch if you say it. So yeah. So we have it hard, but at the same time we have it easy compared with other people around the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
In another way. Well, it's been an awesome podcast, to be honest. I'm really glad that we did it.
Yeah.
We are almost on the 1 hour mark, and before we leave, do you have any final thoughts? Anything that's going on your let in? There you go. I don't know what happened, but we back.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Right. Well, any final thoughts before we leave?
I mean, to the general public, to other firefighters, what?
Whatever you feel like, bro. This is a free environment.
I would say, no matter what, to my firefighter brothers, my los bomberos compadres, what I do is every morning coming on shift, I shake everybody's hand. I give everybody a hug. Off-going and oncoming. No matter who. I mean, okay. I try and develop that to with everyone. So much so to where that when I don't do it, people recognize it and will ask me what's wrong. Because not all the time will we express it, but our actions dictate it. So, I would say find things like that, because it can be the next call. It can be my next call. It can be your next call. So I always say hello and goodbye to everyone. And find a life outside of firefighting. When I make it a point, when we get together, I don't want to talk about firefighting. I don't want to talk about the last call. I don't want to talk about none of it. I would say to those that want this life, do your research. Know what you really get into. Firefighting is 1/3 of your life. Period. Is 1/3, and that's really generous. That's 1/3. I would say 1/3 physically. I think it's more than that mentally. Life. Yeah. And then to those that, appreciate us. Yeah. I mean, appreciate us. When it's kind of a hard thing when I say, when people say, "Oh, thank you for your service," I thought it was weird. Like, what do you say? You're welcome? Because that sounds a little like pompous to me to say, "Oh, you're welcome," but that I'm serving you, So I always answer and say, my pleasure, because realize that less than half of 1% of the population can do what we do, that are wired how we're wired, that will have sleepless nights and be wiped out the next day. And we're back at it the next shift for 20, 30 years straight. You know,
Yeah.
don't just appreciate it on 9/11 or just appreciate it when you call 911. Do the little things. Get out of the way when you hear the sirens. You know?
Good luck.
Yeah. You know, do those
Should-
little things and just appreciate every day for what we have, man. You know. So yeah,
Well,
that's
those
it.
are really wise words, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
And I wish you the best in your plan B, C, D, E.
Yeah,
And then we can talk later.
You're gonna be F, bro. You're gonna be F. So we'll get together.
Well, I'm the F then.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, people, for listening to us, and I appreciate it. Gracias, primo, for being here. We need to repeat this again.
Yeah, definitely. Got to check
Definitely.
in.
Hopefully, we can do another country.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I make shit happen.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. I'm excited now. I gotta go back to school and get that cert.
Get your instructor. That's all I need. That's it.
Yeah.
And then we talk.
Have the Venezuelan and El Negro and Poland. Like, hey, we're here.
You'll be the only one.
Yeah, exactly. We are diverse.
I'm the only one.
Yeah,
I'll be the only one. Brown guy.
Exactly. And I'm the browner guy. I'm the browner guy.
Extra crispy.
Technical and diversity training all at once.
Let's bring it. Let's bring it.
Yeah.
It's a niche for everybody. Take care, bro. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Have a nice day. Bye.